Black people suffer because of a lack of knowledge. Sad. Just sad. Now available in paperback and e-readers. Spellbound, a darker shade of black. Get your copy today at your favorite online bookseller. I am not a fan of Tyler Perry movies. And the reason why I am not a fan of Tyler Perry movies is because the messages in Tyler Perry movies are destructive to both black men and black women. Now, many black women oftentimes love Tyler Perry movies because, one, many black women are desperate to see an image of themselves, and two, many black women basically get caught up in their emotions regarding all the drama revolving a plot in a Tyler Perry movie. However, those movies basically promote a lot of toxic narratives regarding black women and black men in relationships and make it where many black men and black women don't see themselves as loving each other, but see a path where they believe that love, in order to get love, they have to endure abuse and violence. And that overall narrative is one that is actually beneficial to the system of white supremacy, because what the system of white supremacy wants us to see is black people in a dysfunctional narrative and wants to continue promoting dysfunctional narratives, and this is why they have no problem allowing Tyler Perry to continue making films in the entertainment industry that they control. Because when it comes to the media, like Professor Black Truth has stated, this is all about programming ideas in your mind and using those ideas to basically control you. And this is why I have to agree with him that when it comes to the media, it's all about mind control, and controlling black people is something white supremacy wants to do. And in order to keep black people controlled as related to things, what they want to do is program an idea in black women's minds as related to how relationships work between black men and black women. And the ideas in Tyler Perry films basically show you that a relationship between a black man and a black woman, that dysfunction is perfectly normal, instead of showing you a balanced and healthy relationship. Now, when it comes to a Tyler Perry movie, the entire paradigm revolves around abuse, because that's what Tyler Perry knows and has experienced in his life. And oftentimes his whole narratives in his films oftentimes show us a black woman who's married to a black man, but that black man usually is presented as a violent and abusive brute who is dark-skinned, and that violent, abusive man goes out here and brutalizes this black woman, and as she's out here dealing with this abuse, she then runs into a light-skinned or non-black savior, and that whole narrative again fits within the narrative of white supremacy, which is about programming an idea in your mind that a relationship with a heterosexual black man is toxic and unhealthy, and promotes the idea that being with a light-skinned or a non-black man is a better choice, because that whole situation will be better for the black woman, because there she will find love. Unfortunately, that narrative basically continues to teach the same self-hatred we get from most white supremacist media. And that's a narrative that has been pushed for many years in other forms of films and media, such as Alice Walker's The Color Purple or Terry McMillan's Waiting to Exhale. Again, both of those books and the films that were adapted of it promoted the idea that black men and black women couldn't love each other. Moreover, in the case of the book The Color Purple, it promoted the idea of a black man being an abuser, and promoted the misandristic ideal that when it comes to black men are incapable of loving black women. And that whole narrative again is one that basically is designed to again drive a divide between black men and black women, and that's what Tyler Perry does in a lot of his films. And sadly, many black women can't really see it because they identify with the black female characters in the story, that they can't see how they are basically being programmed to be turned against black men. and again taught narratives and ideas about black men that are extremely toxic because they follow the same narratives that white supremacists put in their media ever since the days of the antebellum South during slavery, where they looked to go out here and design their stories as related to their narrative to make black men the face of violence and make him the face of predation, to take things away from the white man and all of the violence and predatory behavior that he participated in as he looked to conquer and colonize lands all across the globe. And what they want to do as related to the image of the black man is make him the scapegoat and the boogeyman of the world story, to take people's minds off of the white man and all of the violence he has participated in. And sadly, many black women buy into this narrative, not understanding that they are being manipulated by things like these Tyler Perry movies that, again, don't give you a really balanced picture of black life, or a balanced picture in a story where you can make objective observations as related to what's transpiring in the story. I mean, I find it very interesting that anytime you have a Tyler Perry movie, the black woman is presented as this innocent victim, but we never get to see in any of his movies any sort of objectivity to show us how this woman made bad choices that led to her getting involved with a toxic man, and how her choices basically led to her winding up in this situation where she's winding up in this whole situation of abuse. I mean, I find it interesting he never, with these married couples, never gives us a balanced picture to show how both the man and the woman made bad choices. No, everything is extremely one-sided, where we get to see the evil, super brute black man, and the black woman basically is the innocent victim of this man's abuse. But we don't get a balanced picture to show us, hey, there's a bigger picture as related to this story, as related to these characters, to show us the woman's side and the man's side, so that we can come to our own observations and draw our own conclusions. That's something I try to do with much of my writing, such as my novels like A Recipe for Success, or The Temptation of John Haynes, or The Thetas, or Eternal Night, or my books in the Smith-Dorella trilogy. I try to give you that balanced perspective so that you can make your own observations, because I understand that when it comes to media, again, this is not just about people being entertained. It's all about giving us a perception of self. And Tyler Perry's films give black women overall a bad perception of reality, because one, they get a perception that where black men are demonized as these boogeymen and predators, and two, they get shown that abuse is perfectly fine. And that's not the reality for many black people, and gives us a completely unbalanced picture of ourselves as related to media, because when it comes to black people, we come from different walks of life, but Tyler Perry only gives us one picture of life. Same thing with Oprah Winfrey, same thing with Lee Daniels, and same thing with Curtis 50 Cent Jackson Esquire. These producers of black media only give us a single picture of black life that basically fits black people into one box that's acceptable to white people, and again shows them the picture that white people and racists want to see regarding black people, of the black man being a violent predator who abuses people, and the black woman being a poor put upon victim of this abuse, but doesn't give us a balanced picture to show us healthy relationships between black men and black women. And that's one of the bones I have to pick with Tyler Perry as related to his media, because it's basically, again, making a lot of black people not see who we really are. No, it's not allowing us to see who we really are as people, not allowing us to see the picture of healthy black families, and allow black women to see, yes, there are men out here who do love you. There are men who do care about you. There are men who want to have healthy relationships with you. No, Tyler Perry basically shows black women that dysfunction as related to black-on-black relationships is the norm, and doesn't really give you any sort of context to show you how this woman wound up in this situation. Moreover, he doesn't really show you how these situations arise, and again doesn't show us again that this is an exception in many cases and not the rule as related to black women, because a good chunk of black women again come from homes with healthy fathers and know how to have a healthy relationship with a black man. But we wouldn't know that from watching Tyler Perry movies, or a whole lot of Tyler Perry movies, because you would see dysfunction presented to you all the time. And again, seeing frequent dysfunction at film after film from multiple producers like Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels, Oprah Winfrey, and Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. Again, this is the type of media that programs an idea in young black girls' minds and black women's minds that a relationship with a black man is one that is going to be filled with violence, and you have to have violence in order to have a relationship with a black man. And that is a lie that white supremacy wants to promote, because what they want to do is divide the black man and the black woman from each other, and have the black man and the black woman not only participate in a gender war, but also look to go out here and look to get them on roads away from each other as they divide and conquer them. Look to get us on roads away from each other, where you've got black women looking to swirl and divest, because that's promoted in many types of films and books and literature, and also get black men to get passports and go get involved with foreign women. Again, got them away from each other, something they don't promote in any other media but black media that's mainstream. And when it comes to mainstream black media, like Tyler Perry films, this is toxic for black people. Toxic for black people because you're getting a daily dose of self-hatred every time you watch a Tyler Perry movie, because these films, again, teach you that you need to tolerate abuse to be among black people, and that's not the case at all. You need to accept dysfunction as a way of life, when that's not the case at all. Our ancestors, before the feminist movement came into the black community, didn't have to deal with dysfunction. We had the most married couples in the world from the 1900s all the way up until the 1960s, and we had intact black families. We had intact black families that were filled with healthy people. And that's something that, again, guys like Tyler Perry don't want to talk about, because they haven't experienced a healthy relationship or had relationships with healthy people to understand how black men and black women have healthy relationships with each other, and how there are, again, homes with black families with fathers in them, fathers who raise their daughters to love themselves, fathers who raise their daughters to have a connection and, again, a desire to be with a man like their father, and have that man be a husband, and have some objectivity to show, again, black people as, again, full multidimensional human beings and not caricatures. I mean, there's a whole world of stories, but the whole thing is, the problem with a lot of black folks is that they get spellbound and, again, want to fit themselves into a black box that's acceptable to white people. And as they look to fit themselves in a black box that's acceptable to white people, they wind up imbibing toxic media, from shows like the Oprah Winfrey Show when it was on the air with its misandristic man-bashing, to reading books like Alice Walker's The Color Purple, which was, again, validated with a National Book Award and was adapted into a movie, and books like Waiting to Exhale by Terry McMillan, which tell you that black women can't get a man and that there's a shortage of black men, even though there were quality brothers around for many years. But You wouldn't know that because the white media, again, doesn't want black men and black women to come together, doesn't want black men and black women to come together to love each other. And that's what Tyler Perry movies don't want you to see. Black on black love, doesn't want you to believe that black men love black women, doesn't want black women to believe black men love them at all. But the whole thing is, the truth is that there are black men who love black women, like myself, black men who want to share with black women. But sadly, many black women, again, are spellbound, again, caught up in looking to fit into the social black box that's acceptable to white people. And again, Tyler Perry is validated by white people. So a lot of people buy into his films believing abuse is normal, but abuse is not normal. And anybody who's been raised to have a standard about themselves understands that you don't get involved with abusive men. And again, abusive men is not something promoted by white women in their films. I mean, we haven't seen a film like that, like since Sleeping with the Enemy 37 years ago. And when it comes to Hispanic women, we haven't seen that in 25 years since Jennifer Lopez is enough. And when it comes to Asian women, they don't push those kind of narratives in their films. But when it comes to black women, we're taught it's okay to see abuse as normal. We're taught to see that a man being cruel to a woman is normal. And again, that's all by design, because what white supremacy wants you to see is, again, a black woman at the bottom of the world accepting substandard as her standard and believing that there's going to be a nice guy to come and save them, not understanding that the nice guy is the same coin as the jerk. And the way you break out of that paradigm is, again, having a good understanding of self and love of self to set standards for yourself so that you don't have to gravitate towards these type of toxic men. And again, break out of this toxic paradigm, which is a paradigm of failure. Again, I go in depth on this in my book, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single. And again, Tyler Perry appeals to the women that keeps them single and in a vicious cycle. And again, his media is toxic all around. Toxic to black women. Toxic to black women because this mind control is about, again, keeping you away from a black man and keeping you from living an abundant life under Christ. Because one of the things Tyler Perry wants to do is use religion to manipulate black people. Now he doesn't even, again, he's so compromised with white supremacy that he basically has gone all off as related to things, but he used to use religion in the past to manipulate black women, to play to their emotions, again, tell them what they believe that they need to hear instead of telling them the truth. And instead of showing them a balanced picture of black life and showing you a balanced picture where we look at the black woman and her choices and look at the black man's choices, again, show us a picture of both of them as related to having flaws and having issues as related to life. Again, showing us that big picture and showing us who black people are. That's what is missing from black media, and that's where new black media comes in. New black media is a place where we can get that objectivity, where we can see black people's humanity, where we can see black people, again, not only having successful relationships, but winning in life. That's something you won't get from a Tyler Perry movie, is seeing black people win, because when it comes down to the white media, they don't want you to see a black man and a black woman loving each other. They don't want you to see a black man winning. They don't want you to see black people having success, because how they keep their power and their control over black people's minds with their media is having you continuing to have a sense of low self-esteem and low self-worth. And again, this is where Tyler Perry's films, again, keep you in a state of dysfunction, because you're always thinking about yourself as less than, instead of thinking of yourself as the best. Instead of thinking about you deserving the best, you think that you have to settle from some beta male and his substandard, instead of saying that I deserve the very best as related to life, and I deserve a life that meets a high standard. I mean, that's the type of media I produce on the SJS Direct Imprint. I want to show you as a black man and a black woman winning. I want to show you having success. I want to show you overcoming the odds, and I want to show you front and center as winning. Again, this is all about programming a mindset in you of success, a mindset where you see yourself, again, as the center of your world, as you see yourself as a winner, as you see yourself winning. Again, this is about programming an idea, again, of you taking power that you can't do with mainstream black media. New black media, like I do on the SJS Direct Imprint, is about teaching you how to take your power, and again, because when you see stories with people like you winning, it makes you believe that you can win. And again, the whole idea of winning is something that many black people don't think about, because we're always taught to, again, be less than, and again, settle for less. And again, this is why you got to get off the Tyler Perry and mainstream media platforms and get with new black media, because new black media, like I do on the SJS Direct Imprint, is all about showing you stories where you win. And again, if you read enough stories where you win, you start to develop a winner's mindset, and you start to develop a mindset of seeing yourself making positive steps forward. That's what it does. And again, as you see a larger picture of the world, you see a place for your world in the world where you see yourself as the center of attention. That's what I try to do over here at SJS Direct, because I understand, again, yeah, you may come from a rough life, you may come from a hard life, but the whole thing is you don't have to stay in that place. And Tyler Perry wants to keep you in that place, because he basically wants to make money off your dysfunction and promote this as the culture of black people. But we come from a greater culture of accomplishments and success. And it's time that we started going out here and looking to support that type of media, because again, just like the food you eat has an impact on your body, the media you watch and read has an impact on your mind. And if you feed your mind healthy media, you will get a healthier picture of yourself. And that healthier picture of yourself will change your perception of self and help you to become, again, a much more balanced and healthy person. I mean, this is the impact, again, of watching healthy media. Again, healthy media helps you grow, helps you to become, again, a more richer person, a more better rounded person. And again, this is the type of media that the white supremacist doesn't want you to see, because they don't want you to actualize your potential and live the abundant life that God wants you to live. Now, if you want to check out some of my positive black fiction on the SJS Direct Imprint, you can find those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them at other online bookstores like Drafted Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And that's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, subscribe. Coming to paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, A Thorn in My Side. The man who rules the world takes on an agent from the CIA from the Black Boule in this action-packed all-new John Haynes series adventure. Pre-order your copy of John Haynes' A Thorn in My Side at Amazon.com and other online booksellers. Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, Isis, Imitation of Life. The Goddess Next Door helps a young black girl overcome racism during the era of Jim Crow in this Golden Age Isis series adventure. Get Isis, Imitation of Life in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today. Support black-owned and black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.